Today is my brother's birthday. He would be 49. He passed away a couple of years ago from cancer.
Oh,
So I found it kind of, I don't know, just coincidental, I guess, that today happened. I didn't even realize it was his birthday today until I woke up. And then I was like, oh my gosh. So I put on the bracelet. He gave me this bracelet before he passed away. And I never ever wear it ever because I don't want to ruin it. But I was like, I'm going to wear that today because it will help me to feel like I'm sharing his story too, in a sense, you know.
yeah.
We had a lot of experience together, so it's really good.
Well, and we're going to be talking about your childhood today, too. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I've just been trying to prepare myself and just pray and
Yeah.
and then of course last night there were issues that, like, you know, the enemy does, that come up, and it's like, in my mind I was just like, of course, like, you know, that's the way it's got to go. So my name is Dawn Searock and I'm 48, almost. I always do that too. Do you ever do that, like when your birthday's coming and you like jump to it like it's not even time?
We met in a group, in a closed group. It's kind of, I want to say it's kind of a support group. I don't want to give too much information, but
Yeah,
would you consider it a support group?
totally. I would totally consider it a support group.
Yeah. I had gotten to talk to Dawn a couple of times about your past and things that you've been through, and I was like, holy cow, you need to write a book, which that's in goal, right?
That is in the goal. That is in the plan. Yeah, I just kind of always felt like I needed to be a voice for, especially targeting children of abuse, adults of child abuse, things like
Right.
that. I really felt drawn to.
Where you are today is kind of, I mean, we don't know, like everybody doesn't know the whole like point A to point B, but I think the point A to point B is, I mean, pretty remarkable. I mean, you live in a beautiful home now. You have a beautiful relationship with your husband. You tell me about that. I could just go on and on, but
I mean, I do. I'm always blown away every day when I wake up, and I just am so amazed at the blessings that I have in my life, and the fact that I always yearned for a family.
yeah.
You know, I always wanted that. I always wanted a loving, genuine, loving, caring, supportive family. And, you know, I married my husband, and that was like a great gift. And then I ended up with the most amazing family. Like, I have the most amazing people in my life who are always there for me, and they're just so open with affection. And I'm still working on it, you know, like I'm still working on accepting those things because it's not natural for me. It isn't, you know, ingrained in me to just accept hugs and kisses and love and affection. Like, it's kind of hard for me. So I push beyond it because I know that it's real and I trust it. I trust it. And there's a huge difference, you know. They wouldn't do anything to hurt me, you know. And I'm very fortunate. I'm very blessed, and I am, you know, just able to recover.
Yeah.
I really am just in the recovery process of the trauma and the abuse. I mean, I still am going through that, and I'm learning how to live with those things and not have them overtake me, but just sort of become.
It's an ongoing process.
It is. It is.
Because, so how long have you been married?
It will be 4 years on July 4th.
Yeah. 4th of July, fireworks and all. Yeah.
That really wasn't the motive, though. Honestly, it just saved us like $3,000-$4,000 in doing that.
You're so practical. It was like, it just saved us a bunch of money, so we just did it. We were like,
it was really good to do it.
I do, mwah, mwah, mwah. Yeah, but I love that you had like a spectacular wedding. That's like really cool.
I loved my wedding. I loved the ceremony the most. We really made it ours, our own. And we wrote our own vows. We had a hand tying ceremony.
Oh, cool.
The ring ceremony. Everyone was involved. We had, I decorated like the altar part of it, and I put all of the family photos from Jason's family because they all have such endearing and long-lasting marriages. Like, it's
Yeah.
just amazing. And I
Yeah.
just had a ladder just full of
Wow.
generations of wonderful marriages.
Isn't that like such encouragement and like motivation? You're like,
It is.
this really happens. You
And it
probably
does.
didn't see a whole lot of that. Okay, enough about your marriage. Time's up. Poor
Never enough. It's never enough.
I know.
Ever.
I know. Wah, wah, wah. Totally kidding. So I really, I mean, the premise of all that is just to show that, you know, you can start off in a really crappy atmosphere, home life, and there is light at the end of the tunnel. You know, there is something to look forward to.
Yeah, if you hang on. I mean, I came so close many times to not hanging on,
Yeah.
you know, and not believing.
Your story as a whole is just, I mean, so magnificent. It's just like the ultimate, you know, perseverance.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't always, you know, I mean, I didn't always. I would love to say that I did it all great and I was wonderful and strong, but
You did it.
I wasn't.
Bummer, you know?
Yeah.
So we're going to go back to childhood now, and we're going to start, you know, digging away at all this stuff.
Okay.
Let's talk about when you were removed from your home. So you weren't removed.
I wasn't.
So when I first initially we talked and stuff, I thought that like child protective services came in or something along those lines, that you were rescued from that situation. And I wanted to know about how you felt about it. But, well, you tell us what happened.
Yeah, unfortunately, that isn't what happened. They did come into the home, and all of my siblings lied for my mom. They protected her abuse of me. As being the only girl, I really was singled out by everyone. And I know my brothers did what they did because they saw my parents doing it. Like, they just followed that act. I was the target of the anger, the animosity, the abuse, all of that. I really was the sole target. On a nightly basis, my mother, you know, she would come home at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, totally drunk. I didn't have a bedroom. I slept on the couch, which was adjacent to her bedroom. We had an apartment. And every night she would bring a different person home, a different man home, and have sex with strangers. And I was witnessing this and hearing this. And it was really just.
How old were you?
At that point, I mean, it probably was going on 2 or 3 years where I was aware of it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So after the man would leave, she would come in and she would just start beating me for no reason. Just talking about something from a year ago, talking about something from 2 years ago, telling me how much she hated me. I lived that existence every single night for years.
But as a small child, so you were young.
Yes. My friend that I walked to school with used to come and pick me up in the morning when we would walk together. Oh. And she always saw me with bruises and cuts and blood and da-da-da-da-da. And she finally had enough. She went to the principal at the school, apparently. I didn't go to school one day because I was really beaten, really bad. And so I couldn't go to school. And apparently they called CPS. When CPS came, everyone lied. Everyone covered it up. And I got my last beating, and I had like my 2 little shopping bags of clothes like in my closet ready to go. I knew it's like clockwork. She's going to come home, she's going to beat me, and I'm ready to go. She came home, she beat me. I grabbed my bags. I actually pushed my mother, which I had never had the courage
to fight back.
And I really was amazed at the braveness that I had in that moment, just to like, I was just so done. I just was like, I'm not your punching bag. Like, I'm just done. You're not going to do this to me anymore. And it was the first time I used my voice, and I walked out the door. And I had friends that were already, you know, runaways. So I just linked up with them and we were runaways together. And at that point I was 11 years of age, And my mother, like after a week or two, notified the authorities and said, I want my daughter home. So they dragged me back home, and she just began doing it all over again. And I went to school, and another friend, actually not really a friend, someone I kind of picked on, but she had a heart for me. She could see that I was just being abused, and she saw, and she went to her mom that day and said, can we take her home with us? And then they asked me what was going on. I told them, and they just never brought me home again. They went and got their license to become foster parents to keep me.
Wow.
And that was how I ended up in foster care, was just these people feeling a heart for my situation, having a heart for my situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guts to be an 11-year-old though, and to just.
I mean, it wasn't really about guts at that point. For me, it was just survival. And I realized it was so much worse at home. I wasn't getting fed. I didn't have anything clothing wise. I wore the same pair of pants to school every single day and got teased and abused and bullied for it. I had nothing.
Yeah.
And she was just a complete absentee parent. She had literally no involvement in my life, you know, only to abuse me and expose me to things that were really unhealthy.
Yeah.
And there were times that she was loving in her drunkenness. There were times, and I hold on to those memories when she was kind, when she was loving, you know, as much as she could be. And later in life, we did make amends. You know, we did. And I can be grateful and happy and content with the fact that I was able to forgive my mother before she passed on in addiction.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
So what would you say, like, when would you say that you feel like the abuse started before you left at 11? You've had enough.
Oh my gosh. With my mother specifically?
Mm-hmm.
As far back as I can remember.
Yeah.
I mean, being 4 years old, walking through the house and just turning a corner and getting a punch in the face, getting my hair pulled, being told I'm a slut, I'm a whore, I'm a cunt. I mean, these were the things that happened all of the time.
At like 8, you're all those things.
Younger, I was all those things. Yeah, that's what she always did. It was always that type of abuse. She really just didn't like me. She didn't. You know, I found out later why, and I won't say that here just yet because maybe it's not time. I don't know.
So I know that there was a time, and this like completely shocked me, and I don't know why it shocked me. I mean, I know that stuff like this goes on all the time, but sadly, I guess because I know you know, and it was like, what? You know, but tell about the time that you found the dog food.
Well, that was a great day, to be honest. It was a fantastic day. I went through my daily life starving, and we all did. I wasn't alone. My brothers were starving too. We were all very hungry all of the time. There was never, once my dad left, there was just nothing going on. There was no food. There was nothing. And so we were always left to our own devices. And I was playing in the yard, starving, and you know, apartment buildings are all near each other, so you're ending up in another person's yard. And I ended up in a yard, and there was a porch, and I saw this big bag of dried dog food. And I didn't hesitate. It wasn't like, oh, I actually had no clue that it was like that bad. I was like, wow, I hit the mother lode. This bag is going to last me forever. You know, like that's how I felt. And then I started bringing friends home from school to have a treat of dog food. And I didn't even understand that there was something wrong with this. I don't know. I guess I thought everyone did this. I don't know what I thought, to be honest. I just know that I did those things. And I didn't tell my brothers about it because I didn't want them to take my supply.
You didn't want to share.
I didn't want to share. I was so afraid if they found out where I was running off to every couple of hours. And honestly, it didn't taste bad. It was like brand cereal or something. Like when I tried to think of what it tasted like, it was like a brand cereal, you know?
Like little cookies.
Yeah, I mean,
niblet cookies.
I'm grateful I found that bag. I am.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I would have preferred food, but You know,
Right.
it was what it was, you
But
know.
I mean, it gave you sustenance when you needed it.
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, now it's like, you know, I get it and I see like, wow, that's pretty bad, you
I know.
know.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. Like when I first, when I first heard it, I was like, no, she didn't really. And then it's like, I'm sure it goes on more and more. You hear about the old ladies buying the dog food and the cat food, so that they can survive. But I just never, have gotten to like sit
Yeah,
and talk with somebody. What would your friends say when they came over and you were like,
I actually remember the girl. I'm still friends with her, and she was just like insulted, and she didn't understand the reason why I would do that. She didn't understand that I was starving, and I think maybe she thought I was trying to be like cruel to her.
oh, yeah,
You know
like
what I
teasing
mean?
her? Yeah.
Like, here you go, have some dog food. Like, she
Yeah.
probably thought that. But in my mind, I mean, believe me, I wouldn't share it with anybody. So
You're
for
like,
me,
I'm
it's like,
sharing this with
I'm
you.
gonna
You
make a
are
friend.
my buddy.
Yeah.
We're
And there's
BFFs.
many, huh?
We're BFFs. You get some of my dog food.
Yeah. No, and it was, and I know that she went to school and told everybody that and stuff. And, I had a way of just sort of disassociating a lot of the time. And
Yeah.
I learned how to do that at a very young age. I mean,
Yeah.
it was natural. It was
Yeah.
really natural. Yeah. And there's many stories of those kinds of things, trash can picking and stealing from
Oh,
stores.
I'm sure.
Stealing
Like,
from people.
yeah.
And
You
yeah,
probably became really creative later.
I did. I
Yeah.
did.
So
Yeah.
on that note, we're gonna wrap up.
Okay.
But I want to know what you're making for dinner tonight.
I actually planned this out because I was like, I know she's going to ask me this question because she always does. I am actually going to be having a chipotle bean burger, which they are so good,
Mm.
on a bed of rice, a very small bed of rice, quarter cup, and then some salad.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's so healthy.
I'm really doing my best.
You're
Yeah.
watching your points. What's Jason gonna eat?
He's going to have the same thing.
Oh, good. So
Oh, yeah.
he's right along. He's trucking right along with you.
I mean, he's not trucking right along with me because he is out and about and he gets fast food and, when he's
He gets
working.
to cheat while you're not witnessing.
Especially today, he has prisoners, so he's going to stop and get them burgers and whatever, because he has a heart like that,
Yeah.
so it's nice. You can stop recording, but I still want to talk to you.
I'm gonna stop recording. Okay. Thank you, Dawn.
You are welcome. Thank you for having me.